Alright guys, so remember when I told you how Oleksandr Usyk versus Derek Chisora is trying to be made for February, early February by Eddie Hearn and his team? Well, it's looking like there is a possibility that Chisora may not get that fight. And it's not because Usyk doesn't want it, because Usyk already says that he welcomes the fight. And a lot of the fans want to see this fight because they want to see Usyk tested against a top heavyweight before he does fight the likes of maybe like a Ruiz, a Joshua, Fury, Wilder, and so on and so forth. But apparently there is another possible opponent for Usyk, and that's Joseph Parker himself. And we've already talked about how Joseph Parker got himself out of that Chisora fight simply because of money. So he's looking for a big money fight, because even though we may see him as a young up-and-comer in the division who had a lot of steam and may have lost it because he took that Joshua fight too early, in my opinion, from the promoter's standpoint, they don't really see much in him right now because he's not a draw. There's nothing really special about him. And what I mean by that is no disrespect. I just mean he doesn't really have any punching power. You know, he's not really an outspoken guy. He's not great on the mic or anything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's respectful. He's a man's man. He treats the sport exactly how you would want it to be. And he boxes. And as of right now, that's not really the criteria to get pay-per-view buys or to get people to want to watch. So, unfortunately, I think Parker should have did that Chisora fight, even though the money not have been right. I think it would have done a lot for him if he would have beat him, because Chisora, as you can see, he's on a high right now, where I feel like Parker's kind of on a mid. But this would be a big opportunity for Parker, and everything would pay off if he does get this Usyk fight. So the reason why they're saying there's a possibility that Parker can now get the fight with Usyk in February, still the same date, instead of Chisora, is because the WBO heavyweight title, right? If that falls vacant in the next coming months, we're going to see Parker fight Usyk instead of Chisora. How will the WBO title fight fall vacant, excuse me? And I already know Eddie Hearn wants this fight, Parker versus Usyk instead of Chisora versus Usyk, simply because Chisora is a guy you don't really want to see his steam stop right now. He's making big... He's a big star right now, and if you can keep getting going, have him go up against the likes of like a David Price or maybe a White Rhino or Dave Allen of sorts, that's good for his career. But Parker versus Usyk, if Usyk beats Parker, that's a big deal. And Usyk wouldn't have to worry about maybe that ridiculous power like Chisora has, or just a slugger like Chisora, which to some may say, you know, Chisora would be an easier fight for Usyk, but it'll be more of a dangerous fight because of the power behind it. But let me get back to the point. So, if the WBO heavyweight title becomes vacant, then this fight will happen for the WBO title. How will that end up happening? If Andy Ruiz loses to Joshua, apparently it's looking like Anthony Joshua will have the WBO title. He'll drop that title, okay? And that's simply because he's with Eddie Hearn, right? And Eddie Hearn knows, all right, if I have Anthony Joshua now back with all the titles, I have control of the heavyweight division again. So if I have him drop the WBO title, I have two of my guys now fighting for another title. So now he has two guys with titles instead of just one, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a direct competition with PBC at the moment, right? So that's a big deal. And then, so what do you guys think about that? Who would you guys rather see? Usyk versus Parker, Usyk versus Chisora? Obviously, if Joshua loses, we're going to see Usyk versus Chisora. But if Joshua wins, there's a big possibility we see Usyk versus Parker, because they're banking on Usyk to beat Parker and to set up a likely Joshua versus Usyk fight for that unification bout. Let me know what y'all think about that. Black Goose TV, as always, we give you them updates y'all ain't ready for. You heard me?